You know what, let's squeeze in Charlie in L.A. Charlie, you're up first on Verizon Wireless Lakers line.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, I really want to talk about Kobe's off-ball defense because we've seen it all before. Like, we've seen him play some bad off-ball defense, but we all know that, like, in the All-Star game, he locked up LeBron. We've seen him go to the first all-defensive team multiple years, but you just saw it. Trevor was literally camping in the corner, a guy that he's played with for about 3 or 4 years, and he can't lock him down after that 6 3-pointer that he made in the corner. I just don't understand what was up with him. Keep going away and trying to help and leaving him literally wide open 4 or 5 times in a row.
Yeah, grand total of 7 3-pointers. Charlie, thanks a lot for the phone call. Wow, yeah, 9 of 15 for Trevor Ariza, 7 of 12. I just can't believe I'm even speaking those words, but that is exactly what Trevor Ariza had today with 25 points off the bench. No, not a good moment for Kobe Bryant. I mean, the offensive numbers were there with the exception of the 6 turnovers, but defensively, they needed him in that second half, and he was not able to provide much, if anything. 877-710-3776, 877-710-3776. Coming up, more reaction from the Lakers losing to the Wizards 103-100.
866-987-2570. Let's go to Charlie. Charlie in L.A., what's happening? Lakers win 106-93. You and I are talking about it on Lakers Line. How are you, Charlie?
Hi, I'm good. I just wanted to talk about how Ronnie Turiaf, he had a great game. He had 1 block. And last night I was at the game versus Spurs.
Uh-huh.
And he had 2 blocks, and he was guarding Tim Duncan. I thought he did really good.
Yeah, he had 4 blocks over the course of that game. And tonight, I mentioned, another good night for Ronnie. And he's kind of getting some playing time by default because, tonight it was Kwame's foul trouble. Of course, the other night it was because Kwame got cracked in the nose there. And he's making the most of it. Tonight finishes with 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists to go with a blocked shot. So no question, Ronnie making the most of the time he's getting. Now, Charlie, how old are you?
I'm 10.
You're 10. Does anybody call you Chuck yet?
No.
Oh, that's going to come. You watch, man. By the time you're 16, all your buddies are going to be so stoked they got a friend named Chuck. It's the way it works. Now, wait a minute. I got to ask you, you're 10. What time do you normally go to bed, Charlie?
12.
Good for you. Because, I used to stay up and watch the George Michael Sports Machine, and that guy with his freaky haircut would turn around and hit the button. I watched those reel-to-reels go. That's how I learned all this stuff about sports, so good for you.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Anything else you want to contribute here, Charlie?
Yeah, I thought the technical foul, Kobe, I thought he shoved it in the ref's arms, but like a couple of seconds later, the ref was just waiting, and then he called it. I thought that he should. I don't think Kobe should got the technical foul.
What do you think Kobe said to him? Don't answer that, Charlie. I'm just kidding. All right, Charlie, you join us anytime you want. Thanks for hanging in there and calling. My wife, as she's very excited that not only am I missing Easter Sunday with the family, but our anniversary. Oh, darn. It's the way it works. Let's get it started here. We will go to Charlie, who was at the game on this Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Charlie, how are you? You're on Lakers Line. What's happening?
I'm good, Mad Money. Do you remember me from the last time?
I do remember you from the last time, Charlie.
Thanks. I want to say that the Lakers, they came out really strong, and they sent a clear message to the Suns, and that they're going to have to deal with us.
Well, I'll tell you what I think, Charlie. I think there was a lot for the Lakers to gain had both teams started who they would start in the playoffs. The Lakers had a significant more to gain because they had not beat this team with Steve Nash, and I think if they had, then it would have given them that momentum. Now, by resting Steve and Raja, they don't really show their hands at all for the playoffs, and the Lakers essentially beat a Suns team that was undermanned. And, Nash is kind of the guy that powers this team. He's the engine that makes it go, and you can see the difference is, this is a team that shoots 48%, 40% on their threes, and today 37%, just 28% on their threes. So I think the good thing, Charlie, is the Lakers, as long as they manage to beat the Hornets on Wednesday, will avoid the Spurs in the first round. And even though it is a team that didn't have Steve and Raja, the Lakers, hopefully will feel good about this win, that they can run up and down and score 109 points against this team.
Okay.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah, that's it. But one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think even with or without Steve Nash, I think the Lakers can beat them with Steve Nash too.
Yeah, why do you think that?
Because
everybody's stepping up at the right time. See, they're peeking in at the best time, and the Lakers are playing aggressively right now versus Suns, and I think they did really good.
That's a great point, Charlie. I'm going to tell you why. Because the Lakers, and thanks for calling, Charlie. I'm glad you had a good time at the game. The Lakers are peaking, in fact. They have won 4 in a row, and we mentioned coming into this homestand they would have to win all 5 if we felt like they were going to get that 7 seed and hold the Kings off. And, in fact, it looks as though they're going to do that. In the meantime, the Suns have only won 10 of their last 21 games. So they're 10-11 over their last 21. So maybe, in fact, the Lakers have somewhat of a mental edge, feeling like they're playing better basketball right now than the Phoenix Suns, even though they have sat Steve Nash the last 2 contests. They haven't been playing their best basketball as of late, to say the least. But one game they did play very well, despite being down 17 at the half, was in Sacramento. As I mentioned, outscoring the Kings 72-42 in the second half, allowing the Lakers to jump the Kings, get into that 7th spot, and have this first-round matchup with the Phoenix Suns should the Lakers manage to beat the Hornets on Wednesday, or if the Kings lose either today's game against the Hornets or their final game of the season against the Seattle Supersonics.